Hey y'all, we're gonna get straight into it. This is another episode of Celebrity Mr. Some featuring Naya Moon, and we are going to, before we start, my bad. Everything is alleged, all in the spirit, and this is for entertainment purposes only. So today we're gonna be talking about this special guy. The first thing that I started to feel was sadness, like tears almost kind of start coming out of my eyes. I feel like he feels very betrayed. I'm hearing like by Method Man. He felt like he kind of just turned his back on him a little bit as a brother. He doesn't really have anything bad to say about none of the guys. He just wished they would have a lot more of them would have stood up for the truth instead of falling for industry games. And he also feels as if like they knew specifically a target was on his back because he was finding out so much about who he really was. In their group, Wu-Tang Crew period was speaking a lot about truth, was speaking a lot about what was going on in the government, how they was doing us as children, politics, just all around exposing. And I felt like all of them started to really get in trouble behind the scenes, and it was kind of trying to like punish them, I feel like, for saying anything as far as to make the industry not look like good people, or to save certain individuals to make them look like good people when in fact they were not good people, especially like the executives in the labels. They were very horrible to him. Specifically, they was trying to play with him. I'm also hearing L Cool J's name. He said that he don't really like him, but he respected him as a man. And like he called him an angry bird. He called him an angry bird. But overall, I honestly feel like Old Dirty Bastard was somebody that was very awakened. He knew so much about holistic knowledge. He knew that once he started to find out all of this information in the interviews, he was talking about how they was coming after him, and he knew and he knew and he knew, and he was not lying. If you go back and watch any of those videos, I feel like in interviews where he's just kind of sitting there and probably not saying much, it's because he's on his P's and Q's. He was watching them because he knew he had a target on his back. And boy, did they try a couple times before they actually like had got him. I feel like they was trying to like lace him at some point, and they got mad because they couldn't. I also feel like they also tried to like drug him, and they got mad because it didn't work. That attempt failed. Like possibly somebody had tried to shoot at him, or maybe some type of altercation broke out. I feel as if he had moved away at a certain point in time in life, where he kind of just went and did his solo thing away from the group, and he was kind of like questioning, were they with him or were they against him? Like I said, he don't have anything bad to say about none of them. He loved them like so much. He feel like those are his brothers no matter what. But he does feel like, I want to say, RZA knew a little bit more and just wasn't telling him what the play was or what they was gonna plan to do to him. Also hearing the word, that word, that sacrifice word. He just feel very strongly about his children, and I also feel like it could be some type of secret investigation going on, or his children could really feel like he did not have a normal death, and they're not lying. He did not have a normal death at all. He was still supposed to fucking be here, and he got cheated out of his lifespan, and they knew it. They knew. His children know something isn't up. So I really, hopefully, they do go along with this investigation. And it's so crazy because same thing with Easy Keys, even though this reading is not about him, they notice something is up with the way that he passed. It's not normal. This is not normal at all. His time he spent, I feel like, taking a break away from music at some point. I feel like he was traveling a lot. He was traveling and getting information about his tribe, his lineage, his heritage, where he really was from, because he is some type of Indian. He belongs to a very big tribe, some type of Indian tribe, I believe. And they also own, I want to say, some type of land. And I feel like they created something as well. I'm hearing like a DMT, maybe some type of plant herb or something like that. But they created something. Whatever tribe this is, like they're very important. They help. I also feel like grow crops and stuff like that. Like they were very good at planting, healing. They had their own little sacred traditions, and I felt like he was gonna end up coming out to share his journey with his time he had spent away, where he was collecting all of this knowledge, and they did not want people to know any of these things. I also feel like I'm hearing something about a white woman. A white woman was trying to get him to marry her or sleep with her or something, and it was not a woman, it was something else. I feel like this was after a show, or maybe he was leaving somewhere. Somebody was trying to get him to sleep with something. It was not a human. Somebody was trying to get him to sleep with something, and he thought that it was a woman, but then his intuition kicked in, and he found out that it was not a woman. Like something kind of shapeshift like right in front of him, and it freaked him out, because he was like, what in the hell is this? Like, I never seen nothing like this before. He didn't think that he wasn't scared like something's gonna happen to me, but he was nervous. Like, I don't feel like this is fake. Like, I know for sure this is real. I feel like that didn't happen a couple of times with certain succubus entities and things that were trying to like latch onto him, and they were like sending things to kind of, like I said, knock him off his pivot and off his game. I also feel like he didn't like his deal when he signed to Def Jam. He always wanted to be signed with them or whatever, but he did not like his deal, because later on he found out that his deal was trash. Like, they just wanted his vessel versus they wanted him because he's an actual talented person and a artist. Like, they was gonna try to like siphon his energy and give it to somebody. And I also feel like they was trying to clone him, but he wasn't going. So they got mad, and they was like, all right, you don't want to fall through, and you don't want to obey. Then now we got to come up with a strategic plan. I also feel like he was supposed to live a little bit longer, but because he started to, again, find out all of this information about what was really going on, how things really run in the world. I'm hearing something about weather machines, how something about sound waves. He's saying something about poison. I'm also feeling people were keeping like a close eye on him. He was being stalked for a really long time by a FBI shit, not just one. I'm hearing like four different FBI agents were stalking him. They always knew what he was doing. I also feel like when he did go off the radar, that's kind of wild, because he felt in his soul something was up, and that people were kind of trying to like maybe follow him, or he could have possibly caught one of them watching him, and they didn't know that they were caught, or they felt like he had an inkling, and it got bad for that person. I'm not gonna lie, it got real bad for that person. I also feel as if something may come out, like his kid. I'm still hearing something about a private investigation. If not, I feel like he want his children to get a private investigation done on him, and not to say anything. Don't tell nobody. He just want them to do it, and that's just it. He don't want them to run to the blogs, or not saying that they will, but this is urgent. I'm feeling like real antsy and anxious. Like, he wants them to get a private investigation done on him. He wants the truth to come out about what really happened to him, where his body is, if they can locate it, his music as well, all of that type of stuff, because honestly, he was supposed to be owning his masters, and I still was saying something about his music. So, and I hear a bird chirping. He just feels very forgotten, and he wants his kids to look into this. He keeps saying it, like, tell my kids to get a private investigator and don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. they did me wrong, they did me dirty, they all fucked me over in the end, and I was nothing but solid and loyal. And he's saying like they need to be careful too once they take the initiatives and steps, and how he honestly, his son, he's telling him that he's gonna have to step up and kind of be the protector and watch everybody's move when it comes to this situation, because he's gonna end up finding out the truth about a lot of people that he might be fond of, that it's not gonna be good. Like he gonna end up not wanting to fuck with them no more or be around them no more, or he may even lose respect and love for a lot of people in the game because they knew and they did not say anything. They didn't even try to help. They all turned their back on him, and they knew something was gonna happen to him, and everybody just kind of just watched him suffer, knew that he was gonna suffer as well. And he also saying that his daughter's gonna have to be more careful to, um especially when it comes to talking to certain people, because you never know who's sent in your life that's really supposed to be with you, or if it's an agent that's just kind of like trying to just infiltrate your life to see what you know and what you don't know, like about his death. I don't know if sometimes his oldest son feel like, you know, people are being funny towards him every time he bring up the topic of his dad like passing, or if he asks questions, he kind of just feels like in a box, like it's limited information, when really a lot of people know a lot of different things. I'm hearing something about maybe his phones was tapped, like somebody was tracking him. He always had eyes on him everywhere he went. It's also saying like don't forget about him. Like I keep hearing him say, don't forget about me, don't forget about me, don't forget about me, fight for me. I'm also hearing the fact that like he wants his wife to help as well, but he does not want his wife to get too involved, because then it could be like a safety risk. Really, he just want his son to step up and do it. Like I said, on a very private thing. Like he don't want nobody else to know. He don't want none of the clan members to know or none of that. He just wants this to be done. Like I can see somebody sitting down like at like in a chair, like at a desk with their arms folded, with their head tilted and their arms across their shoulders, and I feel like it's him, and he just like looking on some like, so what are we doing here? Like where do we go from here? What are we doing? And I feel like he been trying to tell his children through dreams, or they could be having some type of premonition or feeling like he's around a lot, and he is, but they can't hear him, and he's just like, please don't forget me. And I don't feel like they have forgotten him, and that's the reason why they can't move on from him, because he's like, please help me, please help me, please help me. I know that you're celebrating my life in the physical form, and you may be on those stages and stuff, but he's like, don't forget about me while I'm outside of this body, because I'm trying to get y'all to get to the truth, because what happened to me is not the truth. I did not die over a no drug overdose. They put multiple attempts out on my life, and they was trying to unalive me. They did this on purpose, and a lot of people knew, and they're playing in y'all faces like they don't know, but they do know. A lot of people know, and they're not saying anything, and it's upsetting him, and it's been upsetting him for years now, and he just kind of been sitting here just taking it. He's so frustrated and so angry and restless, and like he can't get over this. He has not moved on. He's actually very much so earthbound to this realm, because his soul and his spirit will not move until he feel like he is going to get the justice that he well deserves. And he don't care how long it's going to take. Somebody is going to get this shit done. And they don't want to help them kids. They don't want to help his kids. And yeah, they may be helping. They may be helping like put money in their pockets and shit like that. But why you think that they not getting no royalty monies? If they yeah, like I feel like somebody sold, they could have possibly sold his catalog. Like if they haven't been getting any royalty money, that's why. Like who has been trying to, it's like as soon as he passed, right, they already knew what they were going to put as a headline. They already knew how they was going to mask it off, because honestly, he wasn't always on, like his last, I want to say maybe year and a half, he was getting sober. You could tell by, I could see like his skin and his flesh, like he was not still on drugs. He was getting healthy. He was eating cleaner and stuff too. He was getting his mind right, and they started to hate that because they felt like they wouldn't be able to trick him or trick him out of his spot. He didn't die of no fucking drug overdose. That's a lie. That is a lie. They unalived this man on purpose because he was gonna come out and expose every single one of them, especially those record label executives. He's gonna tell all of them and how they really are and the shit they be doing, whether it be to women, children, and the artists, how they be taking from the art, how they be trying to hurry up and clone these artists, how they steal from these artists and these artists don't even know, and how all these contracts and shit are fake, they're fraud, they're not real. They only getting them to sign these things just to see how far they will go for these riches and these fames, and it really don't mean anything. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's basically you giving up every single part of who you are as a essence. If you go and you sign any of those papers without proper spiritual assistance, you will get yourself caught up in some shit that you can never get yourself out of. It's like you signing up for slavery. And he felt like if he would have found out that that's what this was, then he wouldn't have pushed so hard to be with Def Jam. He definitely wouldn't have pushed so hard to get signed. But at the time, he just was like, I need the money. So he just kind of sucked it up a little bit. But it is a lot of things that also they couldn't get him to do. They couldn't get him to bend. They couldn't get him to break. They couldn't get him to do a lot of things that was necessary for him to keep this oath going. And that's why they chose to do him the way that they did him. And it's so sad. Like, it's making me so emotional. I just feel like he just have so much pent up energy and he don't know what to do because nobody is telling the whole truth about what happened to him. And he has gone to so many people, but nobody is saying, get the investigator. Like, I keep hearing him say that. And he's very adamant about it.